Okay. What's going on, people? It's your boy Brandon Brevon Towns, host of that show called Sports Plus Life. And y'all already know what's going down today, cuz. So guess what? Turn it off, turn it all the way off. Yeah. How is everybody doing today? Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Brandon Brevon Towns. This is Sports Plus Life, that there sports podcast where we talk about all of the necessary topics that need to be discussed in the world of sports and the world of life as well. And all I can say is, man, we just trying to keep chugging along, trying to get back to some sense of normality. Well, a new normal, depending on who you're asking. But anyway, it was a little chilly this morning. It's like fall is not even officially fall yet, but fall is here. It is. It was a little. I was like, damn, it's almost time for me to start wearing jeans again, start wearing pants, and have to put the shorts away, for a little bit. But anyway, I hope everybody is doing good, doing well. It is Tuesday, September the 15th, 2020. I'm sorry, I lose enthusiasm when I talk about this year because so much stuff has happened this year. But I will say this, out of everything that has gone wrong in 2020, it is quite a busy time for sports. I mean, you got everything going on. You got the NBA playoffs. You got the NFL season just kicking off. You got Major League Baseball that's coming down the wire now. You got Stanley Cup in hockey. You got tennis, golf, all of this shit. Lions, tigers, birds, oh my! All of this stuff going on at the same damn time. And it's like, where do you watch at? I mean, it's crazy. But this is how much football rules the day. Week one, all the games that were on Red Zone, they came on at 1 o'clock. The Clippers and the Nuggets game 6 came on at 1 o'clock, and I don't think anybody gave a fuck about that game because this was week one, and we got to hear 7 hours of commercial-free football starts right now, and I had the grill going, and yeah, I ate good, and I mean, yes, so I will get into football later, but as for right now, let's get to it, bruh. Okay, I'm going to start off today with the NBA. There is a Game 7. How in the hell did we get to a Game 7? Because the Los Angeles Clippers may be cursed. There may be a black cat running around there. They may be snake-bitten, whatever. Tonight is Game 7. Between the Clippers and Nuggets, with the right to go to the Western Conference Finals on the line and face the Los Angeles Lakers, who took care of business, got the Houston Rockets the hell up out of there. Mike D'Antoni conveniently told the Rockets players that he would not be returning next season. They're like, I'm going to quit before you can fire me, motherfucker. That's pretty much how I took it, even though his contract was expiring either way. But the Los Angeles Clippers had a 3-1 lead, looking like they were just coasting on the Denver Nuggets, who just really, you have to tip your cap to the Denver Nuggets because they were down 3-1 against Utah and rallied to win 3 straight to take that series. Could it happen again? I mean, this would be such a bad look because, well, first of all, the Nuggets are one more win away from completely screwing up everything that everybody has been wanting to see for the last over calendar year. Ever since Anthony Davis was traded to the Lakers and Kawhi Leonard and Paul George went to the Clippers, everybody has talked about is Clippers-Lakers. That's all everybody wanted to see. Battle of LA. The first game of the season, before the original first game of the season, you saw Clippers-Lakers. Christmas Day, Lakers-Clippers. Even the first game of the restart following the pandemic, Clippers-Lakers. Biatch. They have been drilling Clippers versus Lakers for the Western Conference Finals in our heads for over a year, and the Denver Nuggets are 48 minutes away from totally screwing all of that up and really, really, really pissing the NBA off. God damn! I'm just being honest with you. The NBA does not want the Nuggets to advance. I'm telling you that right now. Good story. You know, they would be the first team in NBA history to come back from 2-3-1 deficits in the same postseason. So they have that incentive to shoot for. And everybody's looking at, well, this on Kawhi's watch and Paul George and da-da-da. I'm going to tell you something. This is who I'm looking at. Doc Rivers. This is falling on Doc Rivers. Everybody lauds Doc Rivers about he's such a great coach, this, that, and the third. And I'm going to be real with you. Doc Rivers has not been a great coach for damn near a decade. He's done some pretty good coaching jobs, like with the team they had last year, them winning 48 games and making the playoffs last year and taking the Golden State Warriors to 6 games. That was a pretty damn good coaching job. But when it comes to being actually a great coach, Doc Rivers has not been a great coach since the Boston Celtics days. When the Celtics and when those Celtics, the Celtics of Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen and young Rondo, when the veterans of that team got old, it was time for Doc to go. And he decided to go to the Clippers, where he had Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan in their prime. You had Jamal Crawford, a multiple-time Six-Man of the Year award winner, coming off of the bench. And he's been the Clippers coach for a little while now. And I'm saying he's been a good coach, but he has not been a great coach, because this is actually history may be repeating itself with the Clippers and Doc Rivers as their head coach. Need I remind you guys, 5 years ago, in 2015, in the Western Conference semifinals, the Clippers had a 3-1 lead over the Houston Rockets of James Harden, Dwight Howard, then coached by Kevin McHale. They had them down 3-1 with a 20-some-odd point lead in Game 6, with a chance to go to the Western Conference Finals for the first time in their team's history. And the Clippers lost 3 straight games and blew it. And this was right at the beginning of the Warriors dynasty. This was the year the Warriors won their first championship. They didn't know how to win. For all we know, the Clippers may have beaten them and won the title that year in 2015, but they blew it. That's on Doc Rivers' watch. 5 years later, you have a brand new team. You have a 2-time NBA champion, a 2-time MVP, finals MVP, 2-time defensive player in the year, arguably maybe the best player in basketball. That's all one dude, Kawhi Leonard. Then you have Paul George, his running mate, and you've got a deep team. You have pretty much your second team could be starting on the majority of the teams in the NBA. How the hell does this happen? The Clippers better win tonight. Or to me, this doesn't fall on Kawhi Leonard, because, Kawhi Leonard brought an NBA championship to Canada. You know what I mean? So I don't think this falls on Kawhi as much as this falls on Doc Rivers. The Clippers were up 16 in Game 5, which they could have closed out. They lost that. They were up by 19 in Game 6. I believe had as much as a 22-point lead, and the Denver Nuggets simply go off on them. Now, shout out to the Denver Nuggets, because they're proving that they have heart beyond belief. This team has a never-say-die attitude. This is their 6th elimination game, and they are 5-0 thus far. They're not ready to leave the bubble. It's almost like the Clippers are like, when they get serious, they're better than Denver. But then it's like they're waiting for Denver to go away.
What's wrong with you?
And while everybody has said
you niggas are crazy,
Denver's maybe about a year away, because the talent is there. I don't think they need to add anything. The talent is there. The Nuggets are saying, no, our time might be now. Now, as far as the NBA goes, boy, they will be mad if the Denver Nuggets beat the Los Angeles Clippers and screw up their LA Western Conference Finals. I think ultimately what the league wants to see is the Lakers and the Celtics. Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals starts tonight between the Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat. The Celtics beat the Toronto Raptors in just a war in a 7-game series. You got to take your hat off to Toronto, man. I mean, I thought they were going to pull it off. I really did. Miami hasn't played in a while as quickly as they dispatched of Milwaukee, and I think what the NBA's worst nightmare would be for the NBA Finals to be the Miami Heat versus the Denver Nuggets. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I'm gonna tell you that they'll of course, you can't go wrong with Lakers Celtics. I don't give a damn, who's playing on what team. If you see the Lakers uniform, you see the Celtics uniform, and you throw in the middle NBA Finals, it just seems right with basketball. But you can deal with Miami versus the Lakers, LeBron versus old team. You could deal with Boston versus the Clippers, Doc Rivers coaching his own team, and you still have Boston versus LA in some form of fashion. But if the Denver Nuggets and the Miami Heat are in the NBA Finals, they would shut the bubble down. I'm going to tell you that right now. They would find some reason to shut the bubble down. I'm serious. The NBA would be sick. They'd be sick because no one outside of Miami and Denver, nobody would watch. Nobody would watch. And that's effed up. That's really messed up because the Nuggets and the Heat are really, really good teams. They're really, really good teams. They would watch if the finals was going on and no other sports were going on. Of course, people would watch then. But football's back. Baseball's still going on. You know what I mean? Football is back. Baseball's going on. Well, by the time the finals starts, the hockey will be over. So, but who gives a shit? But yeah, I mean, yeah. So that would be very interesting and, I mean, kind of funny to me, but I mean, I've wanted the all LA Western Conference Finals my damn self. I've been saying it all year. I think the Clippers are better than the Lakers, although right now the Lakers are balling. And yeah, of course I want to see that matchup. But like I said, are the Clippers really that snake bitten? Are they really that snake bitten? Are the Nuggets that good? We don't know. We shall see. I mean, game 1 of the East Finals is about to start. By the time I get this uploaded to you, I mean, maybe the Clippers and the Nuggets will have started. I'm pretty sure ain't nobody going to listen to this shit until tomorrow anyway. But, it is what it is. It is what it is. So, I think Kawhi's going to come out and have a game. I do. I think Kawhi's going to come out and have a game. But now I'm about to start talking about the NFL. Well, I did a week 1 review that I put to my YouTube page the other day. But, I'm going to be a little bit more into detail, even though it was like 15 minutes long. So I can go in, but I'm going to go into further detail. I'm going to make my picks today as well, too, and kind of go over each game as much as I can. And, a lot of people tend to overreact week 1 when they, of course, each game is so important, but sometimes people kind of go off the deep end about everything that they've seen. Allow me to do that with one team, and that is my Denver Broncos. As we lost last night to the Tennessee Titans, the very last game of week 1, the second game of the Monday Night Football doubleheader. Why the fuck are we always blowing a fourth quarterly? You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I'm getting sick and damn tired of Vic Fangio. He is, are you going to allow the Tennessee Titans to just march down the field to kick a game-winning field goal and you use no timeouts? We finished the game with all 3 timeouts because the kicker was quote-unquote having a bad day, but then wants to come today and say, yeah, I should have called timeout. Yeah, you think? No shit. I'm sick and tired of Vic Fangio because your signature is supposed to be defense. That is supposed to be your signature. That's what you were elite with when you were with the Chicago Bears. The Denver Broncos have had damn good personnel on defense as far as players are concerned. But yet and still, the side of the ball that you are supposed to specialize on, you're dropping the ball. And like I said, I really am trying not to overreact because it is just week one. But what I'm seeing, at least with my football team, is much of the same. And I'm getting tired of it. Last season, 4 fourth quarter leads blown. We finished 7-9. If you just chop that in half, then we're in the playoffs. But why does this keep happening? Why can't the defense close the door when you have the lead? I don't give a damn if it's a 2-point lead, a 20-point lead, a 1-point lead. Why are we becoming the masters of the last-second loss? And this is, as a Bronco fan, what I'm unfortunately starting to get used to. I'm starting to get used to seeing my team play just well enough to lose. That's the Raiders. That ain't us. But that is unfortunately what I am getting used to with my Denver Broncos. I mean, I'm used to having pretty good start off. You know, you're looking good for a while, and then we make some dumb decision like we did last night, going forward on 4th and goal when we should have just took the points. You know, I understand you might be trying to send a message. Look, you knew this was going to be a tough, gritty game. Take the points, and maybe Tennessee has to score a touchdown instead of a field goal to win the game. But then yet and still, we have the lead late. Same script as last time. Same script, different motherfucking cast. And we seem to blow a 4th quarter lead and lose at the gun. Isn't it just appropriate? Everybody else in the AFC West won this past week except my boys. How about that? Ain't that a bitch? And yesterday's loss came because of coaching stupidity. I'm going to tell you something. If we have another losing season, his ass got to go. Not that I'm a fan of changing coaches all the time, but you did that to Vance Joseph, John Elway. Vance Joseph had 2 seasons. One season 8-8. The other one, I believe, 6-10 or 7-9, and you got him the hell up out of there. If Vic Fangio, whose signature is supposed to be defense, is losing games in the 4th quarter, I understand we don't have Von Miller. I get it. But we still have a pretty damn good defense. A defense that I believe is going to a defense that I believe is going to be top 5. I do believe that. But what the hell? What in the hell was that in the last 2 minutes? Man, piss me off. Okay, I'm going to overreact to that because that's my team. And generally, I don't even overreact to my team if we lose week 1. But still, I mean, just losing that way, just outright stupidity, losing that way, that pisses me off. Okay, anyway. All right, let me go through these scores. Okay. So, of course, we know Kansas City came out and beat Houston. I said Houston was going to be my dark horse team for the AFC. I'm sticking with that. You know, what people have to understand and realize, no preseason. You know, no preseason, no OTAs. And the thing is, players have been saying, well, we don't need the preseason. Yes, you do. I said this at the beginning of last season. You need preseason. You do. Your best players may not need to play the whole preseason, but you need some kind of a preseason because you can develop chemistry, particularly new faces in new places. You know, like the Houston Texans. They have a whole new receiving core. They have a brand new receiving core. You think a preseason game or 2 wouldn't have helped? I don't believe the Houston Texans will look as bad in week 8 as they did in week 1. I mean, there's no continuity. There's no chemistry there. So I know a lot of people are saying, oh, see, they should have never traded DeAndre Hopkins. You're right. They shouldn't have traded DeAndre Hopkins, but they did. And the main thing that you just want for the Houston Texans is to just remain healthy at the wide receiver spot. They have a bunch of players in their wide receiver position who are very good. They're burners, but they all have that question mark. Can they stay healthy? And the reason, I know that's a question mark for everybody, but these particular wide receivers get hurt a little more than others, especially Will Fuller. But if they stay healthy, I believe Houston will have a rather dangerous offense because they will have speed that kills. And the Kansas City Chiefs, on the other hand, they didn't have no problems as far as chemistry because all of their skill position players are back from last year. And what's crazy is that so many teams during the offseason got speed, went out and signed speed free agents, drafted speed. You know, it's funny how sometimes a team can actually change the league. It's not the first time I've seen it before. Y'all remember the Greatest Show on Turf? Remember that track team that produced 4 Hall of Famers? Kurt Warner, Marshall Faulk, Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt, Isaac King, Ricky Pro. Remember those guys? Though they literally changed the league because you had to get faster. And the Kansas City Chiefs are the fastest team in the league right now, so everybody's having to get faster. Some people are saying they think the Chiefs will go undefeated. I don't know about all that. But, I mean, could I see them being 14-2? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think somebody will get them along the way. So, Chiefs 1-0. Texans have to regroup. The Seattle Seahawks beat the Atlanta Falcons. Boy, I tell you, I think Russell Wilson might be the MVP this year. For real. I mean, he played phenomenal. Matt Ryan didn't play bad at all either. He threw for 450 yards. I called the Falcons to be my dark horse team from the NFC. I'm not wavering on that either. I mean, I think the Falcons are going to put up a lot of points. You got Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, Todd Gurley's in the mix now. He scored as well. So I think the Falcons will still be a very good, very competitive team. But I think Seattle, between the Seahawks and the Saints, I think one of them is going to end up going to the Super Bowl. Of course, you know, health permitting for everybody. The Bills beat the Jets. The Jets are a mess. I mean, the Bills should have won this game. I'm not going to go off on that. The Bills are great. They should have beat the Jets. The Jets stink. They suck. I don't know when people are gonna finally realize that Adam Gase is not a good NFL head coach. He may be a good offensive coordinator, but he's not a good head coach. He's not. I mean, straight up. This dude, he stinks. He stinks. He got his head coaching job with the Dolphins originally because he was the Denver Broncos offensive coordinator when Peyton Manning was there. Ooh, I could have got a head coaching job if I was the OC for Denver when Peyton Manning was there and he was throwing for 55 touchdowns. I mean, come on now. Peyton Manning ran the offensive meeting. I mean, I could have been the coordinator. Hey, coach, what do you want to run? Hey, Peyton, whatever you want to, whatever you think is best. You see blitzes coming, go ahead, audible. You're free to do whatever. That's my job. That would have been my job. So, let's see. Chicago beat Detroit 27-23. The Lions were up 23-6 in the fourth quarter and did the most Lion shit ever and allowed Mitch Trubisky to throw 3 touchdown passes in the fourth quarter. Matt Patricia, you are another one. I would have fired him yesterday because, again, his signature is defense. This isn't me overreacting. This is me looking at now for a couple years. You got rid of Jim Caldwell for a lot less, and he took you to the playoffs. You get the privilege that I'm getting at? Adam Gase, Matt Patricia, they should be gone. They should be gone. The Detroit Lions had a 17-point lead and allowed bitch Trubisky to throw 3 touchdown passes, ruining the great debut in a Lions uniform for Adrian Peterson, who put on another bitch I'm not old game, damn near rushed for 100 yards and only like 14 carries. But the Detroit Lions did the most Detroit Lion thing ever, and Matthew Stafford led them back down the field, and then their rookie running back Swift drops a beautifully thrown touchdown pass in the end zone, just drops it. That's the most Detroit Lion shit ever. But Matt Patricia, your signature is defense. Why can't your defense close the deal all the freaking time with the Detroit Lions? Yeah, be out. In another division game, NFC North division game, the Green Bay Packers beat the Minnesota Vikings in the shootout of the day, 43-34. Aaron Rodgers is probably chuckling right now because now reports have come out of Packerland that Jordan Love, the guy they drafted to eventually replace him, instead of drafting him some help, they were 13-3 last year. They almost got to the Super Bowl, and now they're saying Jordan Love looks like trash. That's all right, Aaron. Drew Lock don't work out. Come on to Denver. Bring Devontae Adams with you, too. No, we got some receivers, though. Oh, but you can bring him anyway. I don't give a fuck. Bring him anyway. The Patriots beat the Dolphins 21-11. Cam Newton's first game as a Patriot. He ran for 2 touchdowns. Now, look, this is against the Dolphins. Cam can't be running the ball 15 times and think that's going to work all season. New England has to get way more creative with their pass offense. But, I mean, it's just hard because their receivers, Julian Edelman is like old and cracked up. N'Keal Harry, the rookie that Belichick drafted last year, as soon as he gets the ball, he fumbles at the damn goal line. So maybe they may want to try to pull off something to get the Bears wide receiver Allen Robinson, who just unfollowed all things Chicago Bears on his social media. I mean, unfollowing you is basically putting up a middle finger in today's day and age. I think it's kind of funny because people actually get in their feelings if you stop following them on social media. What a day, what a day. All right, the Eagles in one of the shockers of the day. The Eagles had a 17-0 lead and lost to the Washington football team. Now, let me pump the brakes right there. Before I even get into the Eagles, I am not going to call Washington the Washington football team all season. And I'll tell you why. Because you have an arrogant owner who apparently does not know how to treat women, according to all the stories coming out of Washington. And you are privileged. And this ain't even white privilege. This was, I'm rich, you're not. I got the dough to make shit go. And he was just with his chest out. I'll never change the name, all caps and shit, with honors and shit. And getting tapes made with cheerleaders being naked and whatnot. So this is what I am going to call the Washington football team this season, or until they get another name. To me, they are being called the DC Dick Itch. Okay? You might have heard me say it a few shows ago when they were first told to change their name. And I mean, he just was pumping his chest out. Remember years ago, I'll never change the name. But when those sponsors said, oh, yes, you will. Oh, yes, he did. And you weren't ready. So you're the football team. I mean, all 32 teams could be called the something football team because all 32 teams are a football team. So, yes, I am calling Washington, in effect, the DC Dick Itch. Okay, or the DCDIs, the Itch, whatever. But I tell you what, the Dick Itch scored 27 unanswered points against the Philadelphia Eagles, and not a good look for Carson Wentz. I don't know what it is with the Eagles the last couple of years, man. They just get hurt right out the gate. I mean, it's like, don't practice, nigga. That's almost what you want to tell them. Just show up when it's game day. Just make sure you're healthy. Don't practice. Because everybody always gets hurt. And, a lot of people are putting this on Carson Wentz. And, yeah, he's made dumb decisions. But management hasn't exactly done him many solids. Yeah, you drafted Jalen Reagor. Okay, he's a rookie. We got to see how he pans out. Everybody is going to keep their fingers crossed and their breath held to see if Deshaun Jackson can actually stay healthy for longer than a game. Nelson Aguilar is the hell up out of there. Alshon Jeffrey is on IR. Then your offensive line is in shambles right now. Offensive line that was once great, now you had to replace him. Lane Johnson, what's he gonna do? Lane Johnson, what about him? What's the other old dude who wants to? Were they gonna switch his position? Y'all know who I'm talking about. But I mean, and then your running backs, like when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, they had some burly, bruising backs, Jay Ajayi and LeGarrette Blount. And, I like Miles Sanders. I do. But, I mean, can you stay healthy? Boston Scott, miniature, can you stay healthy? I think if this team is healthy, I think they're very good. I think they'll win the division. I'm not bailing on them. I still think they'll win the division. But I mean, goodness gracious. I mean, Carson Wentz sacked 8 times. I mean, once the DIs got the lead, they were relentless. And I have said they have a very good defense. The Dick Itch has a very good defense. They're just young. I think they're a year away. Can they take an advanced step? Who knows? Right now, they're in first place. So, they can say that after week 1. Who's in first place in the NFC? The DC Dick Itch. That's who's in first place. Let's see. Another shootout was the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm kind of getting used to saying it. The Vegas Raiders beat the Carolina Panthers and 34-30. That was a good fantasy game, particularly when it came to running backs. And over the last 7 days, a running back has been the thing to be. Remember how they were saying that running backs were getting devalued? Shit, few of them got paid. Kamara from the Saints got paid. Dalvin Cook got paid. John Main. Derrick Henry got paid before the franchise tag, before he had to be on that franchise tag. And I think good. But as far as the Raiders and the Panthers, Jacobs, who's another one who's going to get paid. What's his name? Mixon from the Bengals got paid. But Josh Jacobs, I digress. Josh Jacobs was balling. Christian McCaffrey was balling. That was really a game of whoever had the ball last. Whoever could make the first defensive play. So the Raiders are 1-0. Another upset was Jacksonville beating the Colts, ruining Phillip Rivers' debut, who threw for 363 yards, but Gardner Minshew only missed 1 pass. That was the only game where they had fans in the stands. Good for Jacksonville because, they pretty much have blown their team up. Nobody expects anything from them. But you know how it goes. When you think a team is going to be god-awful and people like to say the utter ignorance that, hey, this college team could probably beat this pro team, it never truly pans out like that. Remember, they were saying that all last year about the Miami Dolphins. So good for Jacksonville. The Colts, regroup. The Baltimore Ravens slammed the Cleveland Browns 38-6. Lamar Jackson did his thing, 275 yards. Hollywood Brown, 101 yards. Yo, the Cleveland Browns, bruh. Hey, yo. You know what? I noticed some things in sports. Like when some teams are bad, they say, I'm sure you've heard the phrase, the NBA is better when the Lakers and the Celtics are relevant. They say that. The Major League Baseball is a better place when the Yankees and Dodgers and Red Sox are all good teams at the same time. The Cleveland Browns have been bad for so long, I don't think anybody gives a shit anymore. They try. Don't get me wrong. They try. Because the Cleveland Browns are the most talented team in the NFL. For real. They are the most talented team in football. They have 2 All-Pro wide receivers. They have 2 All-Pro running backs. They have 2 All-Pro tight ends. They have an All-Pro on the defensive line. They got All-Pros on in the backfield. And they just suck. They just suck for what? Baker Mayfield is too busy doing Hulu and shit, and and you gotta start looking at him because goodness gracious, they all were talking about how accurate he was, this, that, and the third, and he set the world on fire when he was a rookie, and he got so much attention because Cleveland had been so bad that it was December in 2018 and they actually were in the playoff hunt. And it's been a nosedive ever since then. It's been a nosedive with the Cleveland Browns. Odell Beckham was cooking Marcus Peters on route running. And Baker was just missing him. Now, Odell, he got some personal things going on with him. This chick just came and blew everybody's mind about it. I guess that's neither here nor there. But that's some nasty shit. Literally. But anyway, but he was cooking. He was cooking Marcus Peters. He was. Odell should have had about 150 and 2 touches in this game. 6 points. All of that talent, and all you scored was 6 goddamn points. I know the Ravens are one of the class of the AFC. I mean, the 3 teams in the AFC that you could say could truly be dominant: Chiefs, Ravens, Steelers. But damn. You know, it's just crazy. It's crazy. Like, I don't get it. I just don't get it with the Cleveland Browns. I mean, they have so much talent. Nick Chubb is a top 5 back. Kareem Hunt is a top 5 back. Odell Beckham is a top 5 wide receiver. Jarvis Landry is a top 10 wide receiver. Hooper is a top 5 tight end. Njoku, if he could stay healthy, is a top 10 tight end. You have weapons across the board. Myles Garrett is an absolute beast. Denzel Ward is an absolute beast. And you get, I don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't. The Chargers beat the Bengals. Joe Burrow's first game. You know, he's another one who's going to struggle because of no preseason, but the Chargers should have blown them out. Honestly. I mean, I like Tyrod Taylor because he's a Hampton kid. He's Hampton kid. I mean, he's been in the league for a while. But, you know, he's from Hampton, around the same area as Vic. Went to Virginia Tech, but it's like he's scared. Like there's too much game manager in him. It's like, bro, take a chance. It's too much game manager in him. You know, he's the complete. I mean, he's like a little. He takes a couple of more chances than Marcus Mariota would. But they won nonetheless. The game everybody was looking for: New Orleans and Tampa Bay. New Orleans won 34-23. Well, Tom Brady did his best Jameis Winston impersonation. He sure did. Throwing 2 picks, a pick 6. I mean, but that's another team. No preseason that I believe Tampa. I think Tampa may struggle out the gate. I had them losing this game anyway. And by the way, Drew Brees didn't look great either. He didn't. Both of these quarterbacks are starting to look their age. I do still have New Orleans as a possible Super Bowl favorite. But Tom Brady, he looked old. He'll bounce back. Gronkowski, for his first game in over a year, looks slow. Still looks slow. He said he was rejuvenated. Looks slow as shit. But like I said, he'll once he gets his NFL legs under him, he'll be fine. I think O.J. Howard will actually be the big play tight end this year for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But the Saints, Emmanuel Sanders caught a touchdown pass. I know it set records as far as Nielsen ratings because, I mean, they've been just talking about this game for so much ever since Tom Brady decided to join the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which I predicted. But, yeah, Saints 1-0. Another upset, Arizona Cardinals. People are expecting a lot of good things from them. They beat the San Francisco 49ers 24-20. Remember, I said I would not be surprised if the 49ers missed the playoffs. I'm just saying. Because who are your receivers? Kittle just got hurt. You know, I know you have creative ways of running the football, but hey, I see them taking a step back. Now, as for the Cardinals, DeAndre Hopkins had a hell of a debut. He had 151 yards. Kyler Murray had 91 yards rushing. Arizona, sneaky good. You should learn about a team when they upset somebody and you look at who they play next and look at the level of competition they play next and see how they'll respond to it. I'll get into that in a minute. And the Sunday night game, the Rams beat the Cowboys. You know, all you hear, all this explosive Dallas offense, and they got C.D. Lamb, and Dak should be an MVP candidate. It looked the same as when Jason Garrett was the coach. That's all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying. The Rams look like they could use another weapon, I guess. I mean, I think the Rams are going to be a pretty good football team. You know, they're not going to be the Super Bowl team that they were 2 years ago. But with an extra playoff slot available? Could they? I mean, these are two teams that I could see possibly filling that slot. Like I said, I'm still picking the Eagles to win the division because Dallas is just gonna do Dallas shit. I mean, y'all fall for the same crock of doo-doo every year with Dallas. When you look at them on paper, oh my gosh, they look phenomenal, and they're average at best. And the Monday night game, the Steelers beat the Giants 26-16. Look out for the Steelers. Their defense is probably the best in the league. They held Saquon Barkley to 5 yards rushing on 16 carries. Look out for them. That's all I'm going to say. So, now I will quickly make my picks. I'm not sure if I'm going to have another show by the time the games come around. Thursday's game, Bengals at the Browns. Hey, Cleveland better win that shit. If Baker Mayfield loses to Joe Burrow, that's all I'm going to say about that. And it's not like the Bengals don't have players. Mixon can ball. AJ Green is back. Tyler Boyd can ball. They still have some players on defense. I don't give a damn. If the Browns lose to the Bengals, whew. Anyway, the Giants at the Bears. I should toss up. I think the Bears will win. I do. Falcons at Cowboys. I like the Falcons. I think they're going to have too much offense. I think that game is going to be a shootout. I like the Falcons. No Cowboy hate. I looked at their schedule. I see 7-9 for Dallas. I could be wrong, but I have them losing this game as well. And like I said, Atlanta's my dark horse. Detroit at Green Bay. Detroit had a chance to go into this game 1-0, but Aaron Rodgers is on a mission. Packers are going to win. Jacksonville at Tennessee. Jags are flying high off of their upset win. They'll come back down to earth. Derrick Henry will rush for about $180 on them, and the Titans will win. Minnesota at Indianapolis. Interesting game because Phillip Rivers didn't play bad, and it'll be his home opener. Not like that really matters because there's no crowd. And the Vikings kind of got embarrassed in the first game. I'm going to go with Minnesota to win on the road. Buffalo and Miami, Buffalo. San Francisco at the Jets, San Francisco. Even though they don't have many weapons, but the Jets, they're a mess. The Rams at the Eagles. I'm going to go with Philadelphia. I think Carson is going to bounce back. I think he'll hit Deshaun Jackson and Rager for touchdowns. Denver at Pittsburgh. As much as I would like to say my Broncos, and I believe that we'll keep up with them on the defensive side for a period of time, we're not going to win. Pittsburgh is going to win that game. Carolina at Tampa Bay. I think Tampa Bay bounces back. I think it's another shootout, but I do think Tampa will win this game. The DC Dickich at the Arizona Cardinals. This is what I'm talking about. There is expectations of the Cardinals. What are they going to look like? You're expecting them to be good. They have some weapons on offense and defense. You upset the 49ers. Do you go home and lose to a team like the DI? And, I mean, how do you react to that? Because one thing that has been ignored with the Dickich is they could be rallying theirself and galvanizing themselves around their head coach who's dealing with cancer. And you never know. When you have a rallying cry like that, that could spark you a whole season. And one thing that the Dickich can do, they can rush the passer. I know Kyler is elusive, but that should be an interesting game. I'm going to go with Arizona, though. I think DeAndre Hopkins, Larry Fitzgerald, I think they'll be a bit too much for the DCDI. Kansas City at Los Angeles, Chiefs. Enough said. Baltimore at Houston, interesting game. Deshaun wants to bounce back, going against Lamar. It's the Texans' home opener. Ooh. I'm still gonna go with the Ravens. Not like I said, I'm not selling the farm on Houston, but I'm gonna go with the Ravens on this one. New England at Seattle Sunday night game. I'm gonna go with Seattle. I do. I don't think they obviously you're not gonna run Cam, and a lot of those were run pass options where Cam decided to keep the ball himself. I get that, but I'm gonna go with the Seahawks. Monday Night Football, Saints at Vegas. I'm going to go with the Saints in a close one. Actually, I think it's gonna be a very close game. to open that new Vegas stadium. So that's the football part of it. Okay, so, oh man, with that being said, where the buzzer. Oh, quick life news. It was a $12 million settlement for the family of Breonna Taylor involved in her shooting. You know, I'm sorry. $12 million, whatever, whoop-de-woo. But arrest those motherfuckers. Straight up. Arrest those motherfuckers. You know, they'll take the $12 million too. Arrest those bastards. You know, that's really all I gotta say about that, because the police is still out of control. The police is still out of control, and but no, arrest them. That would be better than any million that you can dish for the fact that, you know, their family member was murdered. Arrest them. And Cardi B filed for divorce apparently from Offset. I mean, 2020.
Coronavirus.
I mean, he's losing that WAP. Am I surprised? No. I mean, I'm just not. Ew. But anyway, this has been another episode of Sports Plus Life. This is episode 96. We are counting down to that 100th episode. But again, if you have not yet subscribed, hit that subscription button and become part of that Sports Plus Life family. It's your boy, Brandon Brevon Towns. Yo, Power's back on. Power Book 2. Yo, holla at it. Holla at it. Holla at it. I'm out this bitch. Peace.